Welcome back to Vegas, everybody. I'm Matt Perrault from SB Nation Radio, host of Pushing the Odds. A fun show. Hopefully you're listening to this show or listening to the video or reading the article right below us here on playpicks.com. You're going to want to go to playpicks.com/bonus, though, for all the best New Jersey sports books and those free sign-up bonuses. Hopefully you're playing some of these picks. We're 23-14. 23-14 is a pretty good mark here heading into week 9 of college football. Now, picks and leans. My picks are 23-14. My leans are not that great, 3-8. But the leans aren't where my money's going. I'm going with the picks. That's where my money's going. 23-14. Let's hopefully win you some more money here this week on playpicks.com. Let's start with Texas on the road at Oklahoma State. Is Texas a top 10 team? I don't know. I mean, look, they've had a couple of big wins. The Oklahoma win, obviously very big. Beating TCU, pretty big. They could wind up playing in the Big 12 title game. However, Tom Herman, I am in love with Tom Herman. I think he's a phenomenal coach. Year two at Houston's where things really exploded for Tom Herman. Here he is, year 2 at Texas, a couple of really big wins as underdogs. When Tom Herman gets points, this dude doesn't cover. I don't know why. He doesn't cover. 0-4 this year, getting points against the spread. Texas this week, -3.5. on the road at Oklahoma State. They played in Dallas, neutral field. They played in DC, neutral field. They lost to Maryland on a neutral field. They barely beat K-State in the Little Apple on the road. That's the only true road test so far for the Longhorns. They're back on the road again, facing an Oklahoma State team coming off of a bye. Mike Gundy's club has been up and down this year. They've lost some games they probably shouldn't have lost. The Iowa State game coming to mind for Oklahoma State. This is a stingy Texas defense. Oklahoma State's offense better be clicking, but off the bye, you figure that Gundy's going to have a couple of trick plays up his sleeve, a couple of new things to show everybody for Cowboys and with the Cowboys offense. I like pistols firing. I like Oklahoma State plus the 3.5. The hook matters to me here, okay? 3, not as much of a fan of the line. 3.5, however, I like it a lot for Oklahoma State. Take the dog if you want to throw some money on the money line and take the upset outright. Don't hate that either for Oklahoma State at home. Home favorite. Texas on the road as a road favorite. Don't like it. They'll go to 0-5 against the number. I like Oklahoma State plus 3.5. Moving on to the greatest outdoor cocktail party. Well, we can't call it that anymore, but we still call it that, right? I'm 41 years old. We're still calling it what it once was. Florida, Georgia, right? Here are 2 top 10 teams. How good is Florida? I don't know. Defensively, they're great. Dan Mullen, first year. That secondary might be the best secondary in the country. I just don't know how good that offense is. Felipe Frank's the quarterback. This is an interesting game. I love this line at 6.5 for Georgia, coming off the very disappointing loss to LSU. If Georgia had won the game against LSU, I might feel differently about this game, and I might say, hey, Georgia's ripe to be upset. However, last year, before the bye, they lost. Georgia did. They came back and won their final 3 games of the year after the bye, including the SEC championship game over Auburn. I think a very similar thing could happen here for Georgia after they got their teeth kicked in by LSU. They come back in a big, big way here. And look, it's a neutral field game at Jacksonville. I think this is a game where Georgia, who's 4-3 against the spread so far this year, I think they start to put it together. I think Jake Fromm is going to start to play better. He's hearing the footsteps. Justin Fields, the backup quarterback. Everyone loves the backup quarterback, right? Favorite guy on the whole team. But Justin Fields is really good, and he's pushing Fromm. I think Fromm plays well. The defense for Florida is very good, but I think Georgia's going to try to pound the rock, run the football. I just think Georgia here is the right side. I think they've got more talent. I think they're going to take Florida. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think it's a double-digit victory for Georgia, 2-touchdown type victory for Florida as they try to remind everybody, hey, we are still a very good football team because they are not out of it for the national championship, for the national football playoffs. They've got to finish strong in a big win, a double-digit win over a team like Florida, a top 10 team. I think will send a very big message that, look, yes, they stumbled on the road at LSU. Very tough place to play. The bye week came at a perfect time for Georgia after the LSU loss. I think they bounce back, they win the game, and they cover. Take Georgia -6.5. All right, moving on to the Big Ten. Last week, we only got 1 game wrong. We were 3-1. That one was a Big Ten game. It was Purdue, Ohio State. I thought Ohio State was going to avoid the trap game like they did they didn't do last year against Iowa. Same thing happened. Walked into Purdue and they got their doors blown off. Huge win for the Boilermakers. Pathetic performance for Ohio State. And now they got to figure out a way to right the ship. But that's got nothing to do with this game. Number 18, Iowa versus number 17, Penn State. The line, Penn State -7. Total of 51 here. The weather's a big factor. The weather in Pennsylvania on this game is supposed to be nasty, cold, 40 degrees, rain. If that holds, I really do like the under of 51 here. This is going to be a slobber knocker. This is a typical Iowa football game. The Hawkeyes, they love to play these grinded out, nasty, cold weather football games. Penn State likes to run the football as well, but Penn State's going to have to run on what could be the best run defense in college football. Iowa's front seven is incredibly tough. They don't allow many yards at all. They're fifth in the nation in points given up with 14.1. They're third in the nation in rushing yards per game, giving up just 79.6 yards rushing per game. On the flip side, Penn State runs for over 240 yards per game. That's 11th in the country. And guys like Miles Sanders, who goes for $110 himself, Trace McSorley, the quarterback, goes for over 70. So who wins the battle in the trenches could really wind up winning this football game. I just think Iowa, in this type of weather, in this setting, it fits them perfectly to keep this game close and low scoring. Penn State might win this game, and you might see the home field and you might see a late drive for Penn State, last second field goal type of situation. But 7 points is too much. I think the Hawkeyes keep this game close, take the +7, and if the weather holds, if it's still going to be a nasty, nasty game, nasty weather in Pennsylvania for this one, take the under as well. I like the Hawkeyes +7 and the under here coming up on Saturday for that game. And finally, let's talk about Notre Dame in a neutral field game against Navy. Now, the Fighting Irish, top 3 team, they are rolling towards the college football playoffs. It would be kind of surprising to see them not make it given how well they've been playing. But this is an interesting matchup because Navy is playing in San Diego where they have a massive, massive presence. There will be thousands and thousands of people there to support Navy. Now, Notre Dame's going to bring their own crew as well. It's not like they won't have fans there, but you got to know this is the Super Bowl here for Navy. They've lost 4 games in a row. They're 1-6 against the spread, and they aren't playing for much. Now, they've got the Army-Navy game coming up. I get it. But to play well against Notre Dame would be massive. I also don't think Notre Dame can blow anybody out. I mean, this is a team that is 4-3 against the spread, but all 4 of their wins have come when the line is -6.5 or less. This team doesn't really score a ton of points, and they're not a team, I think, right now that's going to go on a neutral field and just blow the doors off Navy being a triple option team that's going to play ball control. The bye week came at a good time for Notre Dame as they almost lost to Pitt in the game before the bye. Now they've got a triple option attack that they've been preparing for, which is crucial because it's funky football like we know. But this team runs the football 83% of the time. They're averaging 480 yards on the ground per game. That is 4th best in the country. It is not going to be easy to stop this offense. Malcolm Perry is a very fast and aggressive quarterback. I'm very curious to see what happens. Can Navy keep this game close? Army nearly got Oklahoma earlier in the year. I don't think Notre Dame loses this game. In fact, I would be completely shocked if they lost this game. However, the points, that's a lot of points on a neutral field. 24 points with, like I mentioned, a Super Bowl setting for Navy. I think they keep this game close. I know they're 1-6 against the spread. I think Notre Dame, though, will pull off the dogs. I think it's probably a 21 point victory for the Irish in San Diego. Take Navy plus the points. Those are our picks for this coming week. Remember, go to playpicks.com/bonus for all the best bonuses, all the best on the free plays, the great New Jersey sports books as well. Those free play bonuses are a great way to get going with us. We're 23-14 with picks. Hop on board, enjoy the ride. We'll be back next week for more picks, and best of luck this coming weekend.